Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by LegalZoom. If you're looking to incorporate, form an LLC or nonprofit, get a DBA, and more, LegalZoom can help you get started the right way. LegalZoom is not a law firm, but can connect you with an independent attorney. Visit LegalZoom.com and use offer code AAA to receive $10 off at checkout. And by Harry's. For guys who want a great shave experience for a fraction of what you're paying now, go to harrys.com. Get $5 off your first purchase by entering the code AAA when you check out. And by lynda.com, the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. For a free 10-day trial, visit lynda.com/allaboutandroid. That's LYNDA.com/allaboutandroid. Hello and welcome to another episode of All About Android, episode 212 for Tuesday, May 5th, 2015. We're your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
I'm Ron Richards.
Let's do it. Let's just throw to her.
Let's do it.
I'm Gina Trapani.
Yeah.
Hi.
Boom. So good to have you back, Gina.
Hey, the band's
So
back
good to
together.
be here. Yeah, I miss you guys.
Yeah,
Great
miss
to be here.
you too. My goodness. What have you been up to? Something tells me you've been up to a lot of things, maybe even new things. I don't know.
Well, you know, as always, working on my company, our product ThinkUp. But you know, my co-founder and I cooked up a little 20% project, little side project that we made available just this week. It's called MakerBase. It's kind of a weird URL. It's makerbay.se.
Makerba.
It's makerba.se. Yeah, so it's called MakerBase, and it's invitation only right now. But if you're interested in getting in, you're watching this show, just tweet at me and say, hey, I heard about it All About Android. I'll get you in. I'll get you to skip the wait list there. The basic idea is that it's kind of like IMDb for apps, like liner notes for the apps and games and digital things that we love. It's going to be people who make projects and projects.
Yeah, no, I was in last night because you were kind enough to give us an early access, and so I iFanboy, the website that I founded, and I added my co-founders, and the integration of Twitter is seamless. It's like, and also typing in somebody's name and searching on Twitter, it was the first recommendations were the right ones. I was very impressed.
Nice.
Very impressed.
Yay. So glad to hear that. It's really kind of rough around the edges, and we haven't even that's not our final logo, and it really doesn't have a design, and we're doing no form validation or anything. I mean, it's really kind of rough. But it's cool to see that the Twitter stuff is working. We pulled a lot of that from ThinkUp, so that was good.
Cool.
And so hopefully it'll be public in, I don't know, the next couple months or so. But if you're interested, check it out. Makerbay.se. Which is the first time I ever had to say that like that.
I'm looking to see if the full one.com is also available to pay.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not. It's not.
We tried.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, we tried. There we go.
There you go. MakerBA. So makerbay.se. Cool stuff. That's great. A 20% project. You've learned a few things from Google, it sounds like.
Yes, I have. Well, it's called when you're working on stuff that's really hard and boring and tedious, you take Fridays to do something fun. And this was our Friday fun thing.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we have a lot to catch up on. I mean, now you're on Lollipop now, Gina, right? Your phone finally updated?
Finally, my OnePlus One. It landed on my OnePlus One a few days ago, and I felt like I was the last human on Earth that had a modern phone to get Lollipop. But that's not actually true. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I was going to say, it's not true at all.
And speaking of last human on Earth, those our longtime viewers might remember in the best of clips back last year, Gina, when you were making fun of me for still not canceling my coin order for that application coin. Well, I have a little surprise for you.
Look
what's in my wallet.
What's in your wallet? As they say.
The
coin, it exists. It's upside down. There it is.
So tell us about this thing again. Tell us what this thing is again.
So basically,
we forgot. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So basically what it is it's the idea is that you only need to carry one credit card. And what it is it pairs with an application on your phone where you're able to load your credit cards into it and then sync the card via Bluetooth. And so if I tap this button, it will tell me that it's locked. But I can choose my MasterCard or my Amex or my Amex. and you could cycle through, and then when you go to the store, you can just hand it over as a regular credit card, and there's a magnetic swipe. There you go. You can swipe around. There's a magnetic swipe there, and and it just works like a regular card. I've tested it. You can't get my actual credit card number. It's only 4 digits.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm safe there. But I tested it in a couple of stores, a couple of restaurants, a couple of ATMs. I've had about 85% success rate.
Okay.
The iPad registers where it's a dongle in the headphone jack, doesn't like it.
Oh, interesting.
And those sketchy ATMs in bars in the city, doesn't like it. Beyond
might not be a bad thing, actually.
Yeah. Beyond that, though, it's been fairly successful and pretty neat. And now I carry. The thing is, I'm not 100% like I'm not carrying my 2 American Express cards anymore, but I am still carrying my debit card just in case when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you want to be left without it.
You don't want to be stuck without it.
Yeah. But the app is really neat because it allows you to take a picture of the front and the back of the card. So if you go in the app, if you need access to the full number or the customer service number in case you lose a card, so you can look at the photo. Like and it's got a great function where you can lock the card, and if it doesn't do the Bluetooth handshake, the card won't work. Like you need to be within handshake distance of your phone. So it's pretty cool.
Have you handed the card to a teller and said, "This is how I'd like to pay," and had them go?
Yes.
Does everybody just look at it, stare at it, like, what the heck is this thing?
I've gotten what is that, and I have to explain it to them, and that kind of thing. I've gotten a couple of people who just don't care. I mean, luckily I'm in the city, so
a
lot of people, and
San Francisco,
so a lot of people just kind of shrug it off. But I have had a couple of people like, that's funny looking, but it doesn't feel any different than a regular credit card, right? I mean,
yeah, no,
yeah.
I mean, it definitely looks different. It looks like a Play credit card.
Yes, yeah, it looks fake.
It looks like my kids have a little fake cash register, and this is one of their fun little cards that you pretend with.
Yeah. But I mean, it's no more ridiculous than my dumb Mets debit card. I mean, like that, like that.
Yeah, but there's a certain look to credit cards that we've been used to seeing for the past 30 some odd, however many years credit cards have been around.
Yeah.
It's got to be kind of an interesting kind of transition for people who have been doing, accepting credit cards at dumb terminals for the longest time. Yeah. And now suddenly out of nowhere, they're coming in on phones, they're coming in on credit cards with buttons on them.
I like making them think about what they're doing.
Keep them on their toes.
Exactly, yeah. Although when it doesn't work, though, it's like the thing about it, and same thing with like Apple Pay or with Google Wallet when you're doing the NFC payment, how many tries before you give up? For me, it's 3. After the 3rd swipe, I'm like, fine, just give it back to me. Just fine.
Yeah,
just use this one. I'll just pay cash. Here.
I know. Well, and unfortunately, that experience is what makes me not want to use it the next time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I had just pulled it out, then it would work. Yeah. Talked about that many times.
So but anyway,
I thought
it was a nice little callback since Gina liked to poke fun about that. That said, I am still on POP3 on my personal email, but I am in the process of moving to IMAP. So there you go.
You are? You're moving to IMAP.
What is going on here?
I'm doing a very large systems change. I'm setting up a new domain. I'm trying to move my email to a personal domain, and so I'm gonna forward the old server to and I sign up for Google Apps and all that.
This right here, this is Ron evolved.
Wow, Ron's upgrading.
Yep.
Dang.
Exactly. See, I got a collared shirt on. It's a whole new world.
21st century.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. Let's do it.
All right.
Good for you, Ron. We're proud.
Can't wait to see what other changes are in store in your change log. In the Ron.
In the change log.
The Ron change log.
Ron
Start my wiki.
Yes, you're going to need a wiki to keep track of all the changes that Ron's undergoing right now. We have a lot of news to discuss, as we usually do. It's kind of why we do this show. We're going to be talking all about custom voice actions. Super cool stuff there on Android. A slew of developer news, which is perfect because we have the perfect person on, Gina, to talk about that a little bit. Wear 5.1's new features. Oh, a sign that
I just got handed this file off camera.
Ron is holding a sign that says "Welcome to 1992." Who on earth would do that to you, Ron?
Burke.
That's so Burke.
Sorry. Anyway.
Google Plus finally adds a new feature instead of taking one away and repurposing it elsewhere, and more. But why don't we do it? Let's talk about some news.
If there was one thing that didn't need to change, it's Android news.
That's true.
Truer words never spoken.
I'll give that a 6 out of 10.
In 1941.
6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, all right.
We're definitely stuck in the past over here.
Yeah, see, that would have been much better.
All right, I'll edit it in later.
Please. It's the important things, that and putting Gina in carbonite freezing Gina and carbonite. These are the reasons.
Help me.
These are the reasons that Bryan is our technical director.
Oh, Gina and carbonite.
It's the important things in life.
Good reasons.
All right, Gina. So we gave you the one that we always love talking about.
I love that I got this story. I love that I got this story. Google's monthly platform distribution numbers have been released.
Exciting.
And I think the big news here is that Lollipop jumps to almost 10%, you guys.
Wow.
9.7%. That's up from 5%. Kit Kat dips below 40%, and Froyo hanging on there, 0.3%. Of course, Froyo will drop off the list once it dips below 0.1%. You got to give Google credit for being completist.
Yeah.
And let's see, there's a really cool visualization here on this site, and I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly. Bidouille? Is it French?
I don't know.
Bidouille?
It's not New Orleans.
Yes. You roll over there, and you can kind of see how the versions change. And what was cool about this chart, if you go all the way to the left, I noticed there was a version of Android, API version 2, Petaphore. Crazy.
Where?
In 2009.
Oh,
You
down
see
there.
kinda all the way-
See share by major version. Scroll down a little. See donut, then Petaphore.
Oh, petit
Yeah.
Petit-four.
four
Petit-four.
or something.
Petaphore.
Petaphore.
Petit four.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I did.
It seems like that had to have been an internal alpha version of Android.
Yeah.
But, learn something new every
Especially
day.
considering it doesn't follow the alphabetical naming.
Right. Yeah, it was before they decided on that.
Yeah.
Now I don't know exactly how you're supposed to. So if you go to not this chart, but the one above, and full screen it, Bryan, so we can see the whole. Yeah, I think we can see the whole chart. The only way that I could judge the extension of Lollipop versus the others was to use my fingers.
Yeah.
And go from the beginning to where we are now, and then jump to previous versions to see. And in that totally not scientific way of evaluating the data, but I think it's somewhat accurate. Lollipop is actually doing much better than any other release as far as time it's taking for it to get to its current point.
And I agree with that assessment. At least any other modern release. I think that
Very good. Okay.
I think that if you
just like that, Bryan.
If you compare it to the ascension of Kit Kat or what was the one for Kit Kat? Jelly Bean. Sorry, Jelly Bean. It is going faster. It looks as if Froyo and Gingerbread had a faster ascension, but I think that's more speaking to the time and the number of devices out there and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But comparing to the modern ones, it looks as if it's on track with Kit Kat and Jelly Bean, which is a good sign. So.
This is a good site to bookmark, by the way, because this updates with every version. And so I'm going to start including this because it's a great way to visualize it. Big props to bidouille.org, bidouille.org.
Yeah, really nice.
Hi.
It's funny. I'm glad that statistically Lollipop is doing well, but I have waited. I just got Lollipop on my 1+1.
Right.
Like a few days ago, I was sharing with you guys before the show, and it feels like it's been the longest wait of my life. And this is the first time it's a non-Nexus device, and I shouldn't, I guess I shouldn't have different expectations, but man, I mean, it's been 5 months. It feels like it's been forever, especially since with the 1+1, part of the promise was that the updates were going to happen faster, and they had some problems, and it got delayed, and yada yada yada. But yeah, it's so interesting how Lollipop is a really new operating system that a lot of people haven't gotten yet. I mean, nearly 10%. When I first looked at the story, I thought, oh, what's wrong? We shouldn't be celebrating 10% at 5 months, but this is a normal and in fact successful trajectory.
And I think what you're saying right there is why it feels so long for me. I don't think of it as 5 months. I think of it as almost a year because we first saw it at last year's I/O. And that's my problem. That's not their problem, right? Like Google did, I think, a great thing in releasing it as a developer preview and allowing you early access. That just kind of reprogram my brain to think, well, Lollipop's been around for almost a year. Yeah, really hasn't.
Right.
For the majority of people, it has not.
Barely even half a year at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And so now, Gina, so you've got it. So what are your impressions? Has it changed your life? Is it for the better?
Has it changed your life?
Yeah. So one word answer, yes or no? Yes or no?
It's really pretty and a little confusing. I'm still getting used to it. I'll be honest. I'm used to like tapping the top bar on the 1+1 to dim the screen, but that actually expands the notifications in Lollipop. I'm just like little things like that. The volume controls I'm still figuring out. So it's one of those things where like it's gorgeous and I love the interactions. All the material stuff like I've been waiting for and is awesome and I love. But I'm still getting used to some of the little things here and there. I think I need to just sit down and kind of read through some of the new features, particularly around like volume control, like media and the different modes and stuff, which are now more front and center.
I would definitely agree that volume control is one of the changes that probably confounded more than just a few people, because it is very different. Once you get a grasp of it, it makes perfect sense and it's really easy to use. And I suppose that only comes by with time of forgetting the way it was and learning the new way. Because now I actually love it a lot.
So Gina, are you on 5.1 or did you just get 5.0.1 or like what was the rollout path for it?
That is a good question. Let me check.
Because when it rolled out with 5.0 and then 5.0.1, the volume control was all wacky, and there was an update in 5.1 that actually cleared it up in terms of your ability to access.
I think it's 5.1 that CyanogenMod put
mine
out.
Mine is 5.02.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow,
Okay.
so you're still behind.
Yeah, so I'm still pretty behind.
You're still behind.
You jerks. You had to make me feel bad about myself.
You had 2 days. And we just shattered it for you. We gave you 2 days of runway there.
Is up to date.
So there will be an update when it goes to 5.1 that will address the volume control for notifications versus media, and it actually clears up some of the problems. That was one of the major.
Well, and especially, do you use your phone for alarms?
Yes.
Okay. This is one to look up. This is one to know.
This is like living in California, man. 3 hours behind on everything.
Yeah.
What the?
So if you're using your phone as an alarm, and I believe the version you're on right now does not address this. It's addressed in 5.1. But basically, if you have it on, here, I'll try and show it on my phone. If you have it on none over here,
no alarms.
Yeah, so that's not even alarms. Priority. Okay, so not even alarms. What is it?
Oh, no, that doesn't work on mine. What version are you on?
Wait, what version am I on?
Wait a minute.
That's not right. I'm not seeing what I should be seeing.
Because if I go none, oh, wow.
Not even I'm so confused.
That's weird.
Yeah, I see no interruptions, not even alarms.
Okay, well then that's important to know that.
That is important to know that.
That's something handy that you.
I thought that there was some way to bypass that though for alarms. Why am I not seeing that?
Oh, it's priorities. Because priority interruptions. You set it to priority, and that stops everything but alarms. That was the difference.
Okay,
if I remember correctly. So.
Oh, so an alarm is defined as a priority interrupt. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm really glad I didn't have a critical alarm in the last few days.
There was something else. Maybe it was just the fact that people weren't used to the fact that when you put it on that lowest setting,
yeah, I mean, I think that might have
canceled out alarms, and people expected alarms to still shine through, even though you're saying none whatsoever. Which, and yeah, they're spelling it out for you at least. Not even alarms, so you know that. But I think maybe that threw people off. I can't remember. There's too much Android stuff to remember.
So the Cyanogen folks may have
that's true.
In there. Yeah, so this might not be. This isn't pure Lolly 5.0.
Right.
So I'm happy with it. I'm really happy that I finally have it. But I did hate being so behind, and it really did make me think like, I should just get a Nexus. Like, I should just get the Nexus. I don't want to wait for this.
Yeah, you should get this ginormous Nexus 6. This is what you should get. This huge Nexus 6.
Yes.
And the bumper to go around it to avoid any
of
kissing the pavement.
Yes. I will never let this phone kiss the pavement again.
Memories. All right. Stop it. Last week we were talking about how Google Now got a major update and finally had cards from other applications being integrated into it, so you can get a card for Spotify and for Zipcar, which worked for me this week, by the way. Go Zipcar.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no problems. Well, now the updates continue to roll out as finally we get voice action support for third-party apps that work within Google Now. This is now active, and you could say for a handful of applications, it's not all of them, but for a select few to start out, you can say things like, okay, Google, listen to NPR, and that will load up the NPR app. Or find houses near me on Zillow, and that will find you houses. It'll find houses on Zillow.
I love it when this happens.
Yeah, we got
keep talking. I just want my
Google
Google search to keep telling us exactly what we're saying here. I love it when this happens.
So over on the there's been a lot of coverage of this today, and over on the Google the blog post that outlines all the different applications that this is enabled for. But some pretty cool ones. and we'll see how much longer I can talk for it and see how it's going. It's a pretty good mic.
Interesting thing about this is recording your voice, so I can go into my Google dashboard and actually listen to this recording later in its entirety.
We'll reminisce
and
on
I totally
it.
will.
We'll totally, like, hey, remember the time when we... No, but so...
It's true. Okay, we'll stop.
So the apps that this now works for, and here are some of the examples, like Flickster, show me Inception on Flickster. Instacart, show Instacart availability. You can use NPR, like I mentioned. Shazam, which is one that actually, honestly, that's pretty handy because the only thing I use Shazam for is to Shazam songs, and so say Shazam the song. Trulia, Zillow, interesting real estate apps. They seem to have. Which I don't really feel like. I feel like OK Google is an instantaneous, like, oh, I want to do this thing. And I don't feel like looking for houses and it's just an impulse buy.
No, but it is, though. Yeah. When you're searching for houses
in a neighborhood,
and you happen to be in a neighborhood and you're like, and you get curious. Yes, actually, I read that and I was like, oh, that would be actually pretty cool. Because when we were looking for houses, remembering to go into the app and then pull it up and then find my location and find the places around me, just do that. Be like, I don't know what houses are around me right now, and to have it do it would be pretty awesome.
Right. You sold me.
There we go.
So anyway, so Google Now, voice command activations, things, words.
I think that's pretty cool.
Shazam's the thing. I was just talking to a friend about how he kind of surreptitiously Shazams at the club. Like, he doesn't want anyone to know that he doesn't know the song, but he wants to know what the song is. So you could kind of like be like, Shazam this song, and like kind of turn your phone out, like without anybody really knowing that you're pulling up Shazam. I like that.
Oh, Shazam.
Why don't you want people to know that you're Shazamming?
I don't go to the club, so I'm really not hip. But I think it was a fear of being seen as maybe not hip enough. That was my interpretation. I don't know.
But you never know until you know,
You never know. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Okay. This is just like a little sub-segment. We don't need a little bumper for it, but we had a couple of developer-related things, so we went ahead and put them in a little pocket here. Microsoft kind of had a big week. Don't know if you heard. They had their Build conference for one. One of the many things announced at last week's conference was that Windows 10, which is this next update to the OS, will enable developers to port apps and games from both iOS and Android to Windows Universal Apps. For Android, Microsoft is going to kind of give developers the power to use Java and C++ code to do that work. The goal basically is that developers won't need to build an app for Windows 10 from the ground up. Can eventually, hopefully, replace the Google services that those apps tap into with Microsoft services, analogous services, basically. And Microsoft considers these SDKs as bridges that'll generate developer interest. If you weren't thinking about developing for the platform, but you have an Android app, let's say, this is like a less friction way of kind of moving that over. And Microsoft wins because there's more content, and you win as a developer because it's available on another platform.
It was fascinating because I was following along with the build stuff with the conference news, and when this broke, I mean, we had heard that we had speculated and we had heard rumors that Android apps will run on it, and it was interesting to hear that the Android apps SDKs are supposed to just run, just drop the SDK and it will run, although not if it uses Google Play services, those APIs. If it uses the AOSP, some of those will be supported. So you got to watch, so it won't be as seamless as just drop it in and run.
Right.
Whereas on the iOS side, the developer still needs to recompile the app. But even then, that's more than anyone's ever done. I mean, iOS apps on another operating system makes your head explode.
Yeah.
And so recompiling isn't that big of a step. But once again, I mean, I feel like every time we talk about Microsoft, it's like making bold moves.
Do you think, Gina, as the developer on this panel today, do you think this is going to be the kind of thing that developers are going to flock to? Or, because I feel like we've seen the attempt to bring Android on other platforms before, and I'm not sure that they were like BlackBerry, for example. I'm not sure that great. It's nice to think about opening it up to another platform, but are developers really interested in porting their apps in that way?
I mean, from where I'm coming from, which is kind of like the small startup scene that can barely get out both an iOS and Android version of an app, right? Often it's iOS first. Like, I don't think that developers are necessarily going to be thrilled about this, but I don't think they're going to like flock to this.
Right.
But I think the idea is like, hey, if you have a small set of users who, or some set of users who want, this app on that platform, if there's an easier way to get it there, then that's a good thing, right? I mean, because it's the difference between having an app that kind of mostly runs, right, and not having one at all. And I found even in my projects, like I've had Windows Phone ports like from kind of community members. I mean, Microsoft needs apps on the platform, and it's just from where I sit and the companies I'm around, the consumer app, web-focused companies, like it's a far third, So I mean, I think it's good for Microsoft, and I think it's good for developers. I think that Microsoft has to build those bridges, right? Like I don't think they're being nice, right? Like they have to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, I mean, this just continues the reversal of Microsoft's strategy, where for years it was like we're building Microsoft Windows and we're building Office, and you come to us and we're this big monolith and we won't work with anybody else, so we're closed off. But now they're open, and now our platform works with every platform, and it's a way to like you said, to tear down those walls. And now it's up to Microsoft to deliver the users, because to your point, Gina, it only becomes valuable to developers if there's actual audience there to utilize the apps. And so if Windows 10 is a hit and a lot of people are running it, and you've got millions, because Microsoft, we joke and we I'm very pro Google and all that sort of stuff, but Microsoft has an enormous market share because of their corporate infrastructure,
particularly around corporate enterprise
and educational enterprise and all that sort of stuff. And so if I'm a developer and I'm looking, all right, well, I've got these millions of people that are going to be running Windows 10, I want to expose my application to it. This is as opposed to having to roll a Microsoft Windows 10 app. This is an easy way for me to just do a couple of things and put it out there and let it still work.
Yeah, and it's not just corporate. JJ in the chat is pointing out also that emerging markets, also Windows is very strong in emerging markets as well. Was there? I didn't catch this. Was there any mention as far as kind of like the performance aspect of apps that are done in this way? Is there any hit? I mean, this isn't emulation. This is actual.
No, this is native running. It's not emulation. Yeah, so there shouldn't be any.
So there shouldn't be any.
Yeah, and not to mention Surface 3 sales. Those have been pretty good, haven't they? A lot of people are using Surface tablets now. So I don't know. I see the point of wondering what this will do, or what the end game would be, and whether this is going to work or not. But I think it's a much better direction for Microsoft to go in than not to do this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Right.
Because we laughed at Windows 8.
Can't laugh at Windows 10, I guess. It's too bad. A few other developer-y things this time coming from the Google side. Gina, what you got?
Yeah, it sounds like at Google I/O we're going to get some fun announcements, or Google developers will get some fun announcements, including that, according to the information, a new A/B testing program in the Play Store. So this will let developers roll out different versions of their apps to different users. They could introduce varied pricing. So you could say this version of the app. I don't know how they're going to do this. If you can A/B test the titles or the pricing scheme, in-app purchase versus an upfront purchase, and then based on the metrics and the response, developers can sort of adjust their release strategy. I mean, I really like this idea. I mean, Google. What I really like about Google is they're like turning themselves inside out. They want to teach developers for the Android platform how to work like Google, right? And Google is a data-driven company. They A/B test everything, and A/B testing is a great thing. Just something like for me with to-do text, just to see like, is it showing up in search results? What are people searching for? Could I test, different, even just app descriptions or titles? That would be extremely useful.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how this would surface to the users. How users opt into this, and if they do, which version they get. If there's, say, two different priced versions, whatever. So. Right. I mean, obviously, this is just kind of like a report ahead of potentially I/O, so we don't know any specifics or exact information about this. But it sounds like, and I would imagine if this is coming out at I/O, I mean, it's a developer conference, so this is one of many things probably along this line that Google's going to be.
I feel like this is the stuff that they talk about towards the end of the second day of the keynote, or the second day of the conference, or towards the end of the keynote.
Yeah, they'll do. Have there been any session details released yet?
I haven't noticed.
Because I mean, I/O's like right on the other side of the fence.
It's less than a month away. It's like three weeks away.
It's a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
Would we have known by now in previous years? I feel like we would have. But I'm sure they'll have one keynote. That's what they've been doing the last couple of years, not stretching it out to two.
Yeah. That one year when they did the two keynotes, the 2 days.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. This will likely be kind of a second day or later in the day kind of announcement. This is definitely a make developers happy, help them make their apps more discoverable.
Right.
play for sure. And typically with A/B testing, users, it's completely invisible to users. Like, I mean, it would be nice if you could just be like, no, give me the other version, give me the other pricing, show me the other one, but probably not.
Yeah, right.
But interesting to see.
Yeah.
Well, it's just neat to see. I mean, because they've rolled out A/B testing for content pages before. I mean, at previous jobs I've had where you can build a landing page on Google and use their A/B testing where, you change the headline out, you change an image, or you change the design of the page, and then you see what the results are of the way the users interact with it. So it's interesting to see them applying this to another part of the business. I got to assume it's a similar technology. It's probably their own, it's of their own coding, of their own making, but within the Play Store. That's kind of, and giving that tools to the developers. That's valuable information, because if you're like, I wonder if this image would resonate or this image or this video or, like look at all the ways that we use to make decisions when we're in the Play Store.
I feel like the changes that they've made in the beta app structure through using the Play Store have been pretty beneficial. Of course, I'm not a developer, but I've opted into many a beta program and became an air quotes tester. Provide feedback, all that kind of stuff. I mean, from a developer standpoint, again, has that been a success? I'm sure that's been a pretty great improvement.
Yeah, I think so. I used it a little bit. I didn't use it extensively. Honestly, I'm coming at it straight just from a user standpoint. I love it, right? Because you feel like, I'm getting to see something other people aren't going to see. You're more forgiving of problems and errors. You feel like you're in this inside club. It's just great. Developers get better feedback. It's fantastic. So I think they're doing some great things in the Play Store. I still think the Google Play Store was one of the best sort of places for developers to distribute apps of all the stores.
Yeah. It also encourages use of Google Plus because Google Plus is kind of what the beta test programs hinge around, like Google Plus community for that particular app. So it's almost like if you're in the beta test, you're using Google Plus because that's how you provide your feedback and interact with the developers and everything. So that's tricky. That's sneaky, Google. Good one.
Tricky. Yeah. It's true. In other developer news, a team inside Google is testing app development for Android using Google's Dart language. That's instead of Java. The goal is speed and better web integration. So Java's kind of known as being a little slow. Sky, which is the name of the Dart for Android project, it's just an experiment. It's open source. It's on GitHub at the moment. Google Code is no longer. So you can find the SDK on GitHub. It's very early, very experimental, but it's super fast, and it has webhooks like their HTTP requests. Like it's run by HTTP requests, and I think that it has a lot of interaction. An interaction modeled after actually React.js, which is a Facebook JavaScript framework, which I found really interesting that Google was inspired by something that Facebook and Instagram did together. But it sounds really, really cool. It's changing a lot right now. I was actually going to play with it a little bit just because I was curious. But the end result, if they can get things like security issues down, because these apps talk directly to the web but also have native access to your device's drivers, is super fast apps. They're talking about 120 frames per second apps, which is actually faster than devices can render at the moment. Wow. And that run basically anywhere that there's a Dart runtime. So it's kind of that Java promise, the run, write once, run everywhere, tightly integrated with the web and super fast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll have art and Dart, right? No,
we will. I mean, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just funny because they rhyme.
That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
Thanks. I actually didn't think it was. I didn't say it because I thought it was funny. Never mind. It's just because I have nothing more to say about it, apparently. Let's take a break. Thank our first sponsor of today's episode. That's LegalZoom. I'm a big fan of LegalZoom. I have a big stack of paper that's got stuff printed on it from LegalZoom from 5 years ago when I got my last will and testament, or living will and testament, done through LegalZoom well before I worked at Twit here. 5 things you can count on when using LegalZoom for your business, though, because they have a ton of services that they provide for businesses. Number 1, reliability. More than 1 million people have already trusted LegalZoom to help start their business. If you're looking to incorporate, form an LLC, a nonprofit, get a DBA, and so much more, LegalZoom can help you get started the right way. Number 2, experience. They've been helping business owners with legal challenges for more than a decade. You can count on LegalZoom for all of the details. They won't leave anything out. Number 3, helpful support. They have the right people on hand to answer your questions, all based in the United States, so you get quick responses. Number 4, legal advice. Since they're not a law firm, LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys available in most states. They can give advice on the best way to get started. Plus, They provide contract review and other super useful services to help run your business. And finally, number 5, there's no surprises. LegalZoom provides complete transparency with upfront pricing and customer reviews, and they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Make the smart choice for your business at LegalZoom.com today. Don't forget to enter AAA at checkout to save even more. Use that because we want to tell LegalZoom that we sent you, that All About Android sent you. That's LegalZoom.com, promo code AAA when you check out. We thank LegalZoom for their support of All About Android. Check them out if you have a business or even if you just have a family or you want to take a look. They have services that touch all over the map. So check them out. LegalZoom.com, promo code AAA. All right, we've got one thing in hardware. Let's do it.
It's a slow news week. What do you want?
It's a slow hardware week.
We're dependent on what they do. That's how we roll.
Yeah, other than the fact that Gina got Lollipop on her OnePlus One. That's
really
pretty big news.
It's not really a hardware news story, though. That's not a hardware story.
It's true.
A hardware story is when Samsung has a new ad out. And this one might sound a little familiar.
Yes.
Let's roll it, Brian.
Let's see here.
Let's roll it, Brian.
We'll go ahead and pad this a little bit and just say that Samsung made an ad.
They made an ad.
And it's...
So do we want audio with this too?
Oh, yes, we wanted audio. Because it said it may sound a little familiar.
We're getting the full experience. Here we go.
Samsung made an ad, and it sounds something like this.
Wait, there we go.
We relentlessly pursue the edge of innovation.
Oh.
Sounds familiar.
What does that sound like?
We master impossible materials.
Maybe a little bit higher, though. There's something different. A little bit more...
We make possible.
A little bit more SC.
Yeah.
Kind of does sound like Johnny, doesn't it?
It does.
Manipulate the hardest elements. Bending glass at 800 degrees Celsius.
I think that was intentional?
For a screen shape that looks
This
like
is purely accident?
Apple can't patent a
We
person,
sculpt with diamonds.
Can Apple patent an advertising campaign?
Or a person's the way they talk.
Grains, for a grip that's elegant to touch.
I will say, watching the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge being manufactured is
uniquely
kind
designed
of
to
neat.
reflect light beauty.
It is kind of neat.
We shouldn't hold it against Johnny Ive if he's making money on the side. If he's got some voiceover work, that it's up to him. He's
Johnny Ive is sleeping with the enemy. Logan says it sounds more like a Zales ad.
It does sound like a Zales ad, actually.
It does sound like a Zales ad. That's so funny.
Well
it's
done,
sort
Logan.
of a sad imitation. It's not really good. It's not really good. Do something different. Do something different. But I
didn't hate it.
It wasn't awful, but they're definitely evoking that I'm British and I'm telling you about how something's made kind of feeling that Johnny Ive brings to the Apple presentations and that sort of thing. I mean,
we happen to have a couple of guests in the studio. Number one, they're here on their honeymoon.
Which all right.
Props to you guys. I imagine they didn't get married earlier today, and this is actually like the first evening of their honeymoon. So at least I hope not. Number two, they are from across the pond. What is your impression of this ad? If you could summarize it quickly, do you think it was effective? Is it an accurate representation of something? Inspiring?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you
go. Okay. Did the accent sound fake or real? Fake.
Oh, fake.
Oh.
Dropping
Where
bombs.
are you all from? All right,
England.
yeah, we're in England. It's a big country. Okay, so they're near Oxford. Okay, yeah. See, there are different accents in England, I found.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Londoner sounds different than Northern and Manchester and all that stuff. Yeah, so very cool.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming and offering your insight on this accent, which I think is probably what evokes the majority of the kind of similarity.
Yeah, exactly. We're just poking fun. We just, I mean, Samsung notoriously likes to poke the bear of Apple in these ads.
Yeah.
Sometimes more obnoxiously or aggressively, depending on your opinion. Sometimes more subtly, like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
If you think about it, like they're just outright explicitly trying to troll Apple, that makes it a lot more
which
enjoyable.
It's kind of awesome if that's the case.
It's
if they're sitting
awesome.
there going, what can we do to piss them off?
Yeah, right. How close can we get without it being a legal issue? Right, what can we do?
If that's the case, then awesome, Samsung. I'm all for it.
Think of it that way.
Troll
it makes it way more enjoyable.
And in an entirely different type of hardware, this. I don't know how to segue.
It is the hardware.
Nice.
The hardware.
It sounded German to me.
Why don't we go German on that?
I don't know.
You thought it was like a German Johnny Ive? A German?
Yeah, it sounded like an evil scientist. We are putting the phone together, and then we will take over the world.
Are you a Bond villain?
Perhaps.
He's also wearing an eye patch, so I'm just saying.
You'll never find me, Ron.
And he's a silhouette. Yeah. Always a silhouette. That's his thing. Okay, so in the other type of hardware news, Android Police doing what they do best, rounding up the features of the latest version of Android Wear. So the LG Urbane or Watcher, is it the LG Watch Urbane or just the LG Urbane?
I think it's the
Anyways,
Watch Urbane.
Watch Urbane. It started shipping out, and Android Police, of course, was one of the early ones. Leo's going to be getting one, I think, in a couple of days. It's the first Android Wear device to ship with the latest version of Wear 5.1. So if you're curious what some of the new features are, it actually brings some pretty cool features, some of which we've heard of already. Wi-Fi on Wear, which has 2 modes, off and automatic. You cannot force on. So basically what happens, and that's to save battery, if it's on automatic mode and your phone loses connection with the watch, then it will automatically switch over to a Wi-Fi access point that it's already been cleared to do, and you do that by entering in the Wi-Fi password to kind of validate that. Oh, and that's only once it loses connection with the phone. It's still kind of talking to the phone, though, over Wi-Fi. So it's basically the same as like connecting through Bluetooth. It's just using the internet to do so. So if your phone isn't on the internet in any way, connecting to Wi-Fi isn't enough.
It's not using the internet.
Right.
I mean,
it's connecting to your phone using the internet, essentially, to do the notification, to do the updates. Notifications with multiple cards. So I get this all the time when I have like multiple Gmail notifications. And you try and swipe away one single notification in your Gmail stack, and the whole thing goes away. Now you'll be able to do that individual cards on individual cards inside the stack. So that's awesome. There's a screen lock mode. Yeah, this is showing it off. You tap in, and you can swipe away a single card.
Yeah, that's super good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been wanting that. Screen lock, which uses pattern unlock, which you're familiar with on your device, on your phone, let's say. And that's meant to secure the watch when it thinks it's no longer on your wrist. And Android Police, this is Dave Ruddick at Android Police, was the one that did these videos and walkthroughs. And he said it was kind of, it was hit or miss as far as when that worked necessarily. Like he had it off the wrist and it still wasn't prompting him for the security pattern unlock. But
I feel like that's the kind of thing you're like, oh, wow, that's neat. I'm never going to use it. Like,
well,
you know, but
it does it when you're not wearing it. So it's the kind of thing where like, I mean, I hope so. I hope it doesn't appear if it's on your wrist. But, you know, it's the kind of thing where if you set your phone down, and, you know, there's settings in Android 5.1, you know, smart lock feature that do this, right? Yeah. You set it down, it detects that it's on the surface. Then when you pick it up the very first time, you have to enter in your password, and then it stays unlocked.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah.
So, you know, it protects it when it's not on your wrist. And then apps that install on your device that actually support Wear with a mini app will now trigger a notification on your watch telling you so, kind of bringing a little bit more awareness to the fact that there are Wear mini apps that have been awareness. Dang it. That was unintentional.
No, but that's a really subtle thing because a lot of apps are incorporating Wear within the app and not just making a native Android Wear app. You know, like Pocket Cast has a little mini app within that, which you know, if you didn't know it was installed, how would you know? You know, so that's good. It's I want to see anything coming on or off the watch. I would like to get a notification for. So yeah. Cool.
You mean off as in I uninstalled that app?
Yeah, now it's gone.
Now it's gone.
Yeah, confirmation that it's gone. So,
but if you uninstall it on your phone, then it's definitely gone because it runs inside that app.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
So you don't need that, Ron.
Oh yeah.
No.
Anyway.
Okay.
I didn't think this through. I'm just reacting.
I understand. Sorry, Gina. So this is okay. So what do we have up next? I'll just leave it to you.
Yeah, well, speaking more of Wear, Google Play Services version 7.3 brings support for multiple Android Wear devices at once. So your device can simultaneously connect to multiple wearable devices at once. This gets a little complicated because, like, you know, if you're speaking to one wearable device, like it needs to know that it's talking to the phone, and that's where the transcription, for example, should go. And so this new version of Google Play Services handles that well and deals with processing power and battery capacity and all that stuff. I don't really know in what case. I mean, how many people have multiple Wear device? I'm not sure.
Clearly, like, this guy in the video is wearing 6 watches. I mean, that's the wave of the future there. So
6 watches. There you go.
You never know. I think one of the theories on this is that it doesn't necessarily have to be a watch.
Yeah.
If Google has plans to roll out wearable things like glass, let's say, and a watch,
right,
and you know, a sports jacket with wear capability built into it, I don't know, but you know, whatever inside the wearable category happens to be, all those devices can connect simultaneously. So you might not wear 2 watches, but you might wear 2 wearable devices depending on what they happen to be. Maybe that's a hint as far as something that's going to be announced at I/O. I don't know. So
yeah, it does feel a little bit like, I don't know why anybody would want this, but it's there so they can do it, and you know,
might be paving the way for something that they have planned.
Right.
Maybe you'd have like 5 $1,400 Wear watches.
Maybe if you're lucky to go with your Google Sports Jacket, which I totally would sign me up for the Google Sports Jacket, by the way. But yeah, no. So if you have $1,400 to spend and you're looking to buy a special someone in your life something for Christmas, you can get the first Tag Heuer or Tag Heuer, watch. Tag, as it's commonly known, is a very high-end watchmaker, and they announced last month that they're teaming with Google and Intel to develop the watch, and now we got a little more details that it's going to be priced around $1,400 and available in time for the holiday season, and the expected battery life is around 40 hours. So the Android Wear is breaking away from the Motorola's and the LGs of the world and more into the watches. And now $1,400 sounds like a lot to spend on a watch, but from what I understand of the people who are really into the watches, that's a drop in the bucket. So people spend a lot of money on watches for some reason. I don't understand. Yeah.
I mean, 14. Yes, you're right. That's a drop in the bucket for a really nice watch.
People. Yeah.
Really nice smartwatch. I don't know. I'm not convinced that anybody really wants to spend a lot of money on a smartwatch because there's an outdating factor. Like this is not a collectible.
It's going to be really
10
dumb
years
in a
from
year.
Yeah. Well, this is the Apple Watch question.
Right.
Which is,
exactly. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But and by the way, 40 hours. What?
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Talking about
40 hours of battery? How?
Burying the lead.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because Tag watches are thick, so I bet you they got another layer of battery.
Cool. You'll be all right.
A lot of space to hide battery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So.
All right.
Well, I don't like spending money on watches. I also don't like spending money on shaving. So we want to thank our next sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Harry's. Harry's is fixing a problem that most of us have, including Jason. Paying too much for overpriced razors. Both Jason and I are happy users of Harry's, and you know we're ones to admit it. Shaving isn't fun. Sometimes we cut or scrape ourselves with dull blades, and razor blades they're expensive. They run about $4 a blade, and for a guy who shaves every day, he can spend hundreds of dollars a year just on razors. You know, with the Gillette Fusion, for example, that's not cheap. They keep it in a case at the supermarket. That's how expensive it is. So when we go to buy them, sometimes we got to deal with those with them being locked up in the cabinets and the 8-packs or the 12-packs. It's such a pain in the butt. Luckily, there's a company fixing it for us, and they're called Harry's. Harry gives us high-quality razors at about half the price of those big brand blades. Harry's makes the razors in their own factory in Germany. They went to Germany and found a factory that make razors of the level of quality that they were looking for, and they bought the factory. And that's how we know that they are done at a high level of quality and performance. They'll ship them free to your front doorstep. And because they make and ship their own blades, Harry's more efficient company, which means they can give us factory direct pricing and they guarantee your satisfaction. Now, before the show, Jason shaved completely.
I did.
And
I should have done it on the show.
I think he missed a spot.
Oh, did I?
So we're going to address that now live with our first.
I might need a rag.
Yeah, our first live shaving.
Missed a little spot right there.
Right there.
Hold on. Let me get my actual razor because I have it. I carry it around. See this thing, by the way. Yeah, I know.
So they've got great different color. You can choose the color of your handle. This is the great little orange one. This is the metal one.
I smell so manly right now because of the foaming shave gel.
Yeah. How great does that handle feel, Jason? See, look how smooth it goes. It's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I did miss the spot, but now I'm perfectly shaven.
Perfectly shaven. So you can get in on the action now. The starter kit called the Truman Set is an amazing deal. You get all of this for just $15. All right. So you too can sign up and get your clean, close, and comfortable shave and get a classy set. And it's perfect for gifts. Gift to dad. Father's Day is coming up. It's a perfect time to get them on board with Harry's. And they'll love the price since it costs half as much as razors at the store.
I gave this to my dad for Christmas, actually.
Yeah. And not only razors and shaving cream and shaving lotions, but they're also coming out with aftershave moisturizers that hydrates the skin and smells great. And they got all those products over on their website at harrys.com. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to harrys.com and get $5 off your first purchase with the code AAA. That's HARRYS.com, harrys.com, and enter code AAA at checkout. We thank Harry's for their support of All About Android and keeping Jason and I so darn handsome.
Yeah, I shaved this, so I need to put on some aftershave lotion to smooth my skin. And actually, I shaved everything before the show, so I might as well just put it all over. Man, I smell handsome right now.
It's like a domino effect of shaving because Jason shaved before the show. I shaved last night, but so did Bryan.
What?
Look at how clean shaved Bryan is.
And the only joke everybody's been making today is that I need to get carded before I come into the studio now.
I thought something looked different.
I thought you were on the run. That was personally me. But
I shave so infrequently that I've been using the same razor for about 3 months. So
and you're saving money while you're doing it. So there you go. Harry's is wonderful. We thank them for their support. Go to harrys.com, use coupon code AAA, get $5 off. It's awesome.
I smell so handsome right now. I can smell it. I can smell the handsomeness on my face.
I'm sorry, I'm not there to smell that.
Here, let me.
There you go. Wait, into the USB port. Into the USB port.
There you go. All right, let's stop before it gets weird.
Too late.
Oh, before it gets weird. Oh, I see. I missed that memo, apparently.
I'm going to put on Harry's aftershave before every show because
you should.
I enjoy smelling this. Let's move into apps quick.
You're a married man.
I'm not doing this for you, Ron. I'm doing it for me. Oh, boy. Okay, so remember that time when this app called Meerkat? Oh, hi.
Oh, hey.
Sorry. That was left over from the clean
Look
shave.
how clean of a shave that is.
I totally forgot that I just shaved until you just did that. Remember that time that app called Meerkat brought, for the first time ever in the history of the world, live streaming video directly to your device, but it didn't bring it to Android. It brought it only to iOS. Yep. Well, their team of developers have been working hard on bringing the functionality to Android. And it is now live, and
look,
everything.
Jeff Needles is on there.
Yeah, I was in. Oh yeah, isn't that strange? Okay, so by the way, Jeff Needles, Twit employee. Let's go to the total leaderboards of the entire service. Oh, Jeff Needles is in 4th place, only behind Madonna, and well, okay, a couple of other people I don't know, but Madonna's up there.
You know that everyone in the Mashable office is like, Needles!
Oh, I know, because Mashable was ahead of Jeff Needles. Man, they're like, we couldn't, how did we let this happen? How did we let Jeff Needles?
I just like the idea of being in a conference room and someone going, Needles!
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 Meerkat's kind of fun, I gotta say. Let's see here. So let's go, You know, I mean, it is what you expect. All about Android. Okay, I'm not very creative right now. Live.
Yeah.
And then we'll go stream.
Wait, are we going to live stream within the live stream?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Okay, so people are looking at the table right now. I'll hit this, and that'll pop it around. Now they're looking at the rafters.
Oh, my head.
Here, now it's all upside down and everything. In fact, why is it upside down? Wait a minute.
Upside down?
Wait a minute. That's.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to work.
That's wrong. Does it? Okay, I don't know. It's very confused.
For some reason, the gravity works differently in the brick house.
It's because we're doing so many live streams. It's just like Inception.
It totally is upside down on the front facing.
That's weird.
Well, that's strange. I wasn't doing that earlier. Okay, well then I'll go like this, and I'll show. Let's see if we can see the guests. Wait. Okay, they're waving. There we go. All right. Hey. Okay, so you can see at least one of the cameras is
the
right.
newlyweds.
Bringing it up on the website.
Oh, there we go.
There
This
we
is
go.
the stream. Yeah. So.
All right. So
We got a bit of a lag.
here's the deal. They had a closed beta. I was brought into the closed beta a couple of weeks ago, and I played around with it very briefly. And the front-facing camera wasn't working at all at that point. So before they went public with it, they had a few bugs to squash, and they still obviously do. They're working on it though. It's early, and it's out before Periscope. So boom, there you go. But it's live media recording. It's kind of fun. You get the little chat on the window. When you're kind of watching the live stream, and if it's front facing, you can actually read it. Otherwise,
You want to cut to that?
kind of hard
Bryan,
to do it.
You can see it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a little choppy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who knows?
That might be the bandwidth on that.
There you go.
Yeah, the machine over here.
22 people total. 17 are here now. You get a little chat area right here that kind of scrolls the chat. Now, this chat, by the way, and you probably know some of this stuff already from the hordes of iOS users that were using it. Oh, that's nifty. Kind of confusing, but nifty nonetheless.
Well, we'll see the delay, I guess.
These chats are actually done through Twitter, so so be careful. Like I could add to the chat, and there's a little button here that says tweet this comment. So personally, I would probably turn that off because I don't want my Twitter followers to see one side of my my chat in this window. But that's up to you. But yeah, it's kind of a cool way, to just live stream whatever you happen to be doing at any given moment. I've live streamed a few times here and there here at Twit, and it's awesome to see people suddenly appear and start asking you questions. Leo did a Reddit AMA yesterday and was meerkatting that. And I mean, he had like hundreds of people there. And so I imagine it seemed like it became less about the AMA and more about the meerkat kind of the AMA at that point, because you're on. But it's kind of cool. It's worth checking out. It's Meerkat. It's finally on Android if you're curious. And I think Twitter's Periscope is close. They've made mentions of the fact that they are nearing a release. So soon we will have options as well, and if this is your thing.
And I don't know, that Victoria Frats needs to watch out for Jeff Needles because they're neck and neck. And Victoria.
So what happens to the stream? Does it get archived anywhere, or is it just the stream?
It's always
you just
live,
have to show
right?
up, and if you miss it, you miss it.
Yep, and yes. Although what will happen if you do a particular good one, or if you just do one and a lot of people connect, is that afterwards there are services that people can say that they can request the recording, because what Meerkat is doing, I believe it's actually recording onto your device, so you have it in your video. What are we watching? Careful. Careful.
Wow, Nora Segura is pretty...
Now we know why she's higher than Jeff Needles.
She's got a very high score.
Now
I understand why.
Now I'm wondering what Jeff Needles does to be in fourth place. Needles, what are you doing on Meerkat?
Oh man, that's funny. It's comedy.
Okay, use at your own risk.
Yeah.
Of course, that's going to be a selling point for some people, but there you go. Meerkat, Android, check it out. And yes, to answer your question, you can post it after the fact. People will request the recording. So there you go.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So Gina, what's going on in Google Plus?
It may be less exciting news. No, I don't know. This is exciting news for Google Plus users. I love this. Thank you, Jason. Right. Reset the clock to 0 days since the last update to Google Plus. Google Plus is rolling out collections. So this allows Google Plus users to group their posts by topic. So I could create an Android collection and an MMA collection and a chocolate collection. And then, if you aren't really into MMA, but you're really into Android, then you can follow just my Android collection. So people are likening this to the Pinteresting of Google Plus, which is kind of interesting. I recently saw, and I forget where it was, but I saw some sort of ad for Google Plus, and the tagline was like, show what you love. It was something along the lines of sort of like show what you love. So this is kind of a little bit of an interesting turn for Google Plus. I have not gotten collections rolled out to me yet. Apparently, it's rolling out now to users. And I guess when you have it in your post, you'll be able. In the drop down menu, there'll be an option to add a post to a collection.
I think I have it. I think I can show it off here.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, there it is. Collections. Create a collection. We'll go pie.
Oh.
This is my collection of pie. And then now I have a collection all about pie. And if I have actual pictures of pie or things about pie, then I can put them in here and I can change the cover photo. Still kind of wrapping my head around what I'm going to use this for if I'm going to use it.
I could see it. I
can see it. I can understand.
Pinterest makes sense. I first thought like Storify, which is like a way that you put together similar posts on Twitter into a story. But I guess Pinterest is the better kind of example. If you're really into something like, oh, I don't know, Android, or really into music or pie or, you know, or something, it's a great way to group, like, here are all my posts about this topic. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's
that is true.
You're curating yourself, which is kind of interesting.
But so then when I follow Jason, can I say, just show me the pie? I just want the pie? Or,
yeah.
Okay.
Listen, just show me the pie. I came here for one reason and one reason alone. Just show me the pie.
I realize you do all these shows about Android and everything, but you have a collection about pie, and that's really all I care about.
Listen,
so
I understand the music. I understand the kids. I'm just here for the pie.
Just here
Hand
for
it
the
over.
pie. Generally, yeah, exactly.
yeah, so you're picking it. You understand.
Just show me
it's
the
all
pie.
about the pie. I get it. That's cool.
I love it.
Okay, well, I still have to fit this into my life, though.
The pie?
You know? That's
the
easy.
collections, yeah.
The collections.
The curation. It's extra work. It's curation. You have to curate yourself. You have to like split yourself into.
Well,
your
we're
interests.
all into
let's
buckets
see
of what
here.
we're into. I mean, like, you know, like I go take pictures of bands when I go see them. I would put that in a live music collection like that.
So I've created an Android collection. Now I'm just creating a post. Is there somewhere on here for me to say?
Yeah, do the menu, do the thing there. Nope,
disable reshares, disable comments. Do I have to actually go into collections in order to do that, though? That's
you should be able to add.
Oh, maybe if you add from there.
Oh wait, so now
now go back. Right, exactly. Go back up there and collections.
There it is.
Circles, communities, collections. There you go.
Okay,
wow, circles, communities, collections.
Yep.
Okay.
So then you put it in Android.
Although I have to change that graphic because that has nothing to do with.
Hit that.
Removing circles and people. Selecting this will remove any circles and people you have selected to share with. Okay. So now it's just going to Android.
But is it only going to people who subscribe to your Android collection?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Test. Sorry for the most boring first post to my Android collection ever. Test. And now on yours, this is science right here.
This is live, people.
Signing in. Obviously, you never use Google Plus.
No, there we go. Okay. Signing in. Right,
Wait, so there's a little collection. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I see it under this post belongs to a collection. Tap to the collection to see more posts, but it doesn't come up in my feed.
So it won't come up in your feed. Oh, interesting. Okay.
So how would you ever find it?
You'd have to know that I created that. Oh.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's kind of a problem.
You click on the collection. It's like, just show me all the posts in the collection. So it seems like a way to drill down.
I think the problem that I see, though, is I have a lot of people following me for my Android posts. How would they necessarily know? How would all those people that want to follow my Android posts, other than me sharing it, which is what I do, but not all of them would see me sharing it, saying, hey, I'm posting all my Android stuff to this Android collection now. I will lose people that follow that.
No, but it says I'm following it.
Okay. Okay, I'm confused. Oh, people in the chat room are saying collection appears in the feed.
Okay, maybe
okay. So then what you could do as a user is you could go into that collection and unfollow it if you don't want to see it anymore.
Sure.
So you can opt out of seeing it anymore if you actually don't want it. Okay. As long as it appears in the feed
there it is.
still.
There it is.
Okay, so there it is. All right.
Yep. And Nigel sees it.
Hey.
Good job, Nigel.
Thank you, Nigel, for confirming that.
Right on.
So.
it wouldn't have been worth it to me if I knew I was going to risk. No,
it shows up in the feed,
not going to everybody that wanted.
Gina was more important than that post, apparently. Google decided.
Well, I would agree with that.
That's a very dramatic photo, Gina.
I miss California, man. That's making me really miss California.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go.
Live plus wanting.
All right.
Well, some additional Google news. Google announced the acquisition of Timeful, a third-party app for iOS that manages your time and scheduling algorithmically based on what it learns about your daily behavior patterns, such as available time, locations, most productive hours, etc. Google says to expect these smarts to be brought into Google Inbox, Calendar, and more in the future. And you got to assume that there'll be some sort of Google Now integration as well. It sounds like Google Now-y. Google Now telling me to leave for a meeting and things like that sounds very similar to what Timeful is doing. Timeful is an iOS app, and they have posted that they will be focusing on Google projects, so they probably won't be updating the old app anymore as the sunsetting of that as they integrate all this stuff. It'll be neat to see it worked into Google Inbox. I like the idea of behavioral algorithmic learning that you're productive during this time, and so then I can help you manage your calendar that way.
As long as it works.
That's the key. That's the
right. Because how many home screen solutions have come out where it's we'll only surface the apps that you ever use at that location or that time of day, and it'll make it super easy for you. And they never stick for me.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing, right?
Hard
figuring out what's the Twitter. Not to go off topic, but Twitter released that feature highlights for the Android app. I don't know if you guys, and I've had it on, and it's okay. Yep. It's not good enough to interrupt me twice a day, with a notification, but it's okay. But I've been talking about this, it's just the hardest thing for software to figure out what it is that you really care about. Yeah. How does this Timeful figure out when you've been most productive?
I would think the most productive time would be when you're not in email. It all depends on how you define your productivity. It's like if you're writing code for hours and you're not interacting email, that might be your productive time. But how does it know you're doing that? It just thinks you're not working. Yeah. So I think we got to see more. I don't know how Timeful works on iOS. I can't speak to it what that does. But I think there's got to be something there, or else Google wouldn't have bought it. So
Yeah.
Going back to the Twitter highlights thing, honestly, I think Nuzzle does it way better than what the Twitter highlights thing rolled out in. So but
I haven't used that Nuzzle, but I heard a lot of people say it was a lot like Nuzzle.
Nuzzle's cool. It's highlight seems like Nuzzle light. Nuzzle was in the arena a couple weeks ago, and it didn't do as well as I thought it would have.
Yeah, no, Nuzzle's great. The one thing I wish they would do, and maybe the developers are watching or listening, is I wish that they would make their notifications expandable. Yep. Because so often I get the notification from Nuzzle, and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. And you get 3 words, and the only way to see the rest of the words is to tap through. I just want to go oh, yeah, I do want that. Versus the first 3 words. That would make it more useful. So Nuzzle developers do that.
I just got a notification on my watch that Jeff Needles is streaming on Meerkat.
Of course he is.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's all he does when he's not here. And sometimes that's all he does when he's here. No, not really. Not anymore. That doesn't happen anymore. We have an email from BR Victor. Who says, I used to have a Garmin Vivo Fit. The speedometer has inactivity function in an inactivity bar. If you stay still for half an hour, the watch starts to vibrate and makes you walk. I do not have this gadget any longer. Does Play have an app with similar functions? I have a Samsung Gear Fit watch, non-compatible with Google Fit. It's not? Oh, that's strange that it's not. It says, any help with finding the above described app for the phone or better for Gear Fit?
So he wants something that will buzz his watch to tell him to get up and go walk.
There's an app for that. It's called Move It. And it does exactly that. Now, actually, Move It does tie into Google Fit. So, but I'm thinking that this might be a way around that. Is the Gear Fit, that's... Oh, wait a minute. Gear Fit is not Wear, is it?
No, it's not. Gear Fit is that.
Dang it.
Yeah.
That's what okay.
It's
so
Tizen.
Then I missed that.
It's Tizen.
Oh.
All that Tizen.
I don't know if this would work for you. Sorry. Here I was in the Android Wear world. All right. This probably isn't going to work for you then. But I'll show you just so that the Wear listeners of the show can benefit from it. I'm sorry, BR Victor. I don't know.
See if I can find one.
Yeah, for Gear Fit especially. I forgot that that's not Wear. No, don't go there. Okay, so Move It is an app that, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It ties into Google Fit. specifically. So it kind of tracks your steps and everything and your movements. And you can set it so that inactivity, anything less than 100 steps in a given hour, it'll set you a notification reminder. And you can also set in between what times, you know, it actually does that. And, you know, I do a lot of work at my desk. So I've got a couple of these already. Oops. Let's see here. Stop. Okay. Let's go. Let's get there. Let's get there. Let's get there. Show me, move it. Where is that notification? I swear I saw it. I swear I saw it. You're going to... Jesus Christ.
Wow,
okay,
I feel like I got a tour through your life, Jason.
I know. You know too much. Bryan, I put a screenshot in the... Thankfully, I took a picture of one of the notifications in case this happened. There you go. It buzzed my wrist. It said, hey, you haven't moved much within the last hour. Move it. And so this is kind of what you're talking about. It's just not for your watch. And I'm sorry because I missed that part when I was researching this damn email.
And I'm looking for something, and it doesn't. I found in the XDA forum someone posting going, hey, can someone make an app that does this with the exact same use case?
That's a bummer.
And then I see a bunch of reviews that say, don't buy this smartwatch.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
Required features, like if you're anywhere near a movie theater, not to remind somebody to get up and move.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I've heard people complaining about that with the Apple Watch.
Yeah, I was going to say with the Apple Watch.
On Versus.com, here's a comparison of the Garmin VivoFit versus the Samsung Gear Fit, and it calls out the inactivity.
All right, so BR Victor, this wasn't as helpful as I had hoped it would be. I missed that aspect of it. Yeah, you know, hey, it's time to upgrade your watch to a Wear device. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry.
That's not a good answer, but unfortunately.
We're not talking Tizen. We're all about Android.
Talking Tizen.
So... there you go. Let's take a quick break and thank our final sponsor of today's episode. That is Lynda, yet another service that is just amazing, especially for, you know, for educating yourself, for problem solvers, curious, people who want to make things happen. If you want to take better photos, create an Android app, master your Excel skills, sharpen your Photoshop skills, lynda.com has everything you need to feed your curious mind. Some of the new lynda.com courses that we recommend here: developing Android apps essential training, Google App Engine essential training, developing executive presence, and up and running with Lightroom 6, Lightroom CC. There are new installments of Code Clinic covering CR and JavaScript. I've talked about it plenty of times. I'm a huge fan of the audio courses, the audio production courses on Lynda, some of them with really just well-known producers and mixing engineers in the music industry. Just awesome stuff. I could watch that all day. With lynda.com, you can watch and learn from top experts. These are people who are passionate about teaching, and they're high-quality video. They're recorded with the highest level of quality, and the presentation is just top-notch. You can stream thousands of video courses on demand, create your own schedule, you learn at your own pace, which basically means courses are structured in a way that you can watch them start to finish, or in bite-sized pieces. You can actually search the transcript and jump to a particular moment. It's all chaptered out for you. So if you want to jump to a particular segment of the video, it's easy to find those and jump right to them. You can download tutorials, watch them on the go. That's including access on your Android device or your iOS device. You can create and save playlists of courses that you want to watch. You can customize your learning path or share with friends, your colleagues, and your team members. It's just an incredible learning tool. Lynda.com seriously has tons of stuff. You kind of have to take a look at their course library to really understand the breadth and depth of knowledge that you can acquire just by checking out their videos. Your lynda.com membership gives you unlimited access to training on hundreds of topics, all for one flat rate. Whether you're looking to become an expert, you're passionate about a hobby, or you just want to learn something new, I want you to visit lynda.com/allaboutandroid. You can sign up for a free 10-day trial there. That's lynda.com/allaboutandroid. And we thank Lynda for their continued support of this show and the Twit Network. It's a match made in heaven. There we go. lynda.com/allaboutandroid. All right. I think it's time for an old school arena.
Yeah.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
This is the first episode of this show where I have a razor just hanging out next to me all show.
So
a
what
little bit of shaving cream, smell in the air.
Should I be careful with how I approach this arena? Are you?
Don't tick me off, Ron.
Oh, man.
Actually, did you win this last week?
I did not win this last week.
Okay, you're lucky.
Last week was a week of the guests.
You're lucky you didn't win this week.
Nice.
Miriam came in with the win.
So the G&G group, that's guests and Gina, it gets another winner. Miriam wins with manual camera, second place. Okay, so I kind of won of the folks here. Does not commute came in at second with 34%. Phonograph music player, third place at 15%. And WWE 2K, fourth place at 9%. Not a whole lot of wrestling fans.
Yeah, it was an interesting arena, though. It was... And the manual camera app was hard to argue against. But so
yeah, it really is. I've been using it a lot, actually.
We are still deadlock tied. You and I are tied 6-6.
Okay.
Each of us 6 wins. And the G&G group, Gina, your team, has 5 wins.
Dang.
So, Gina, this is your opportunity to even out the playing field.
Oh, man. That's a lot of pressure. So wait, you guys, it's May and you're keeping count like this? This is
well, we're not keeping count of this.
Right,
I just want to be clear. Maybe it's not us, rather the diligent folks in the chat room.
That's right.
I believe Wade County in the chat room is our man who keeps me up at night with the tally. But yeah.
I blame Wade. All right, well, good to know.
Well, just since you've missed it, Gina, and we have some time, I went like the first 2 months without a win. Like it was like really and I've been on a comeback swing this past month.
You've been coming back.
Yeah, you crashed and burned right after your big 2014. Wow.
Yeah, really similar to my life, but but I've come back, so there you go. And now we're tied 6-6. So there you go.
You're going moving IMAP. You got a collared shirt on. Things are good. All right.
Things are looking better and better. 1993, here I come. So since I lost, do I go first? Is that what we're gonna do? All right.
You go first.
All right, cool. Well, I'm super excited to share you guys with this because this is an app that, in full disclosure, I'm friends with the folks behind this app, and I've been tracking their progress. And actually, the app launched officially today, and it's a startup that's participating in TechCrunch Disrupt in New York as we speak. Actually, it is going on this week. The app is called File Chat. And basically what it is it is a collaboration tool similar in the same kind of category as Slack that allows you to chat actively on specific files. So it attaches a running chat associated with any files that are stored either in your... Oh, we're on my phone. I'm sorry. I thought we were on... I was talking to the camera as if I was on. I didn't notice. So any files that are stored in your Dropbox or Google Drive, you can load into File Chat. You don't need to save the files in File Chat or anything like that. You can keep them in Google Drive. You can keep them in Dropbox. And you can invite other collaborators and host a chat in and around that specific file. So if you're a freelance artist, a freelance designer, or part of a team, a remote team, or any sort of situation where you're collaborating, File Chat really steps up and makes it a lot easier to talk about specific files as opposed to having endless email chains and things like that. We've all been there before where you're nitpicking over colors and you're looking for the attachment and who has the correct attachment, that sort of thing. So what you want to do is it's in the Android or it's in the Google Play Store right now. You can download it. You do need to go to filechat.com to set up an account. And once you set up the account, what you can do is you log in and it pulls in your you set up your account, and if you have a Google account, it pulls in all your Google information. You can set your status so other people know whether you're available or busy or invisible.
I'm recording a show, Ron. Don't bother me. I'm busy.
We're busy. But I've created a file chat called AAA for me and Jason to work in. I invited him to it. And in here, you can see that we have one file that we're currently noodling over, my Androidify little icon. So this is stored in my Google Drive account. So you can see by the Google Drive account right there. And there's the file. Jason's pulled it up on his phone, so he can see it there. We're seeing the same thing. But over here, this is where you can have the ongoing chat. So I say we use it. And I hit send. And there it is.
I saw that
right there. Yeah. And so Jason can disagree. He can say...
You could say hi. No, what I was going to say was you stepped all over my voice input.
Sorry, I didn't know you were voice inputting.
I know, I didn't either, but I'm going to do it because it's easier. As I said before, comma, truly amazing sneakers, period. Okay, there we go.
Cool.
Send. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Set.
So now, what's also cool about this is that you can utilize the app. Sorry.
No, I'm stopping.
But anyway, it uses the same sort of vernacular that we're used to with Twitter and things like that, where you can reply to people when there's more than one person in the chat that's going on. Hey, you can specify what is shown for it, and then of course we all have got the fancy you can favorite something, or you can add in specific. You can put in the actual file itself. There you go. Into the chat. So it's really kind of robust. And a lot of people, you can say, like, Dropbox just rolled out chat within their application. Google Drive, already has kind of a chat, but through specific docs files, not specific files themselves. But what this allows you to do is this is a layer that goes on top of your file structures. They're going to be adding more sources of files in the future. So you can imagine you might see OneDrive or wherever else things are being stored in the cloud, and it gives you the versatility. So sure, you might work in Dropbox, but someone you work with on a project might not work in Dropbox. And so it allows you to switch as you need to, depending on the various teams that you work with. So it just launched today. It's in the Google Play Store. You can get it now. It's called File Chat. Again, you got to go to filechat.com and register for an account there, and then you can log into it via the app. And it's super cool, super powerful. It's just kind of the beginning, and everybody kind of looked at Slack as one of those productivity apps where like, oh, I'm not quite sure what this does, and I feel like File Chat gives me that same vibe. So check it out, File Chat, totally free in the Google Play Store.
Cool. File Chat, one word.
Yeah.
And there we go. All right, Gina, I have your app installed.
Right on. All right, that was very cool. I was sharing before the show. My app finding muscles are a little rusty. I had a little bit of a hard time this week, but I found one that I hope is going to bring one in for the team. It's called Food Keeper, and it is free. It's a free app actually by the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service. It is look, I'll be honest, it's not the fanciest or most exciting app, but it's extremely useful. If you are like me and you are standing in front of your refrigerator and wondering if you can still eat that roasted chicken that you bought on Thursday, Food Keeper basically tells you how long you can keep food in the fridge, in the freezer, on a shelf, how basically to get the most out of the food in your house. And I know this sounds really maybe boring, but actually it's really useful. I mean, you can ask this app things like, how long can I, do my hard-boiled eggs keep, or how long does it, take beef to thaw, or how long can I keep ham in the fridge? There's all kinds of different foods listed in the app, and this is really just a straight reference. And if you buy something and you want to remind yourself to eat it or freeze it before it goes bad, you can add actually to your calendar. There's a button if you choose a food. There's a button there that says add this to my calendar, add a reminder to my calendar. There's a search button, so you can search for the food, or you can browse by different kind of. There you go. Add refrigeration time or add freezer time to your calendar if you bought something. And there's also a little Ask Karen feature at the top right. There's an icon there. This actually just goes to a website that's literally called AskKaren.gov. I'm not sure who Karen is, but she's very helpful, and she has lots of answers to questions about keeping your food safe and not wasting food and eating what you can eat when you can eat it. Again, not the most exciting or clever app in the world, but very useful especially for college kids and for adults who don't know how to cook like me, as a quick reference to see how long can I keep this stuff in my fridge, and when can I freeze it, and how can I thaw it. That is Food Keeper, and it's completely free, and it's by the USDA.
This confirms what I always seem to forget and amazes me every time I remember, is that chicken does not last very long.
No, not at all. Not raw chicken.
If it's frozen.
Yeah.
Well,
if it's
12 months is a very long
time.
But
like we'll go grocery shopping on the weekend or whatever, or Friday, and like if you're not making it by Sunday, you better put that sucker in the freezer, because in a couple of days it's going to go bad.
That's why you need to sign up for Blue Apron.
That always gets me.
I already am. Yeah.
No, that actually is a very handy tool because just this weekend I was in my refrigerator wondering if things were okay or if they need to be thrown out or you do the is it slimy test and
Yeah. And you always, I mean, I tend to err on the side of just throw it out, but it feels like such a waste, and I'm always sort of killing myself over wasting food. And actually, I had no idea that you could freeze a chicken for 12 months. That's a long time. I don't know that I would have known 12 months.
Wow, I would not freeze shrimp or crayfish for 6 to 18 months.
18 months.
18 months. It's a year and a half. My Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I guess frozen shrimp. That's
frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen.
We get frozen shrimp. Frozen shrimp. From time to time.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. I like it.
That's handy.
I like the design. It's got good imagery, and it's actually, the design is quite modern for a for government app, and I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, it has some of the material design touches, at least the floating action button down there.
You love that action button.
I do. Oh man, I love it. Very cool. So that is Food Keeper, one word. There you go. And that as well is free. So let's see here. I'm curious to know if Food Keeper has a chat room. Does that sentence make any sense to you? It will. My app is called App Chat Alpha. And the alpha is very important to remember because it's early stages for App Chat, but I like what it promises to do here. So App Chat is an app that basically creates a chat room around every app that you have installed on your phone or your device. So for example, Calculator, an app that everybody has a chat room with 1,947 different chats in it. Let's see what they say.
What are people talking about?
How do you see the calculator history? The updated calculator doesn't seem to have it anymore. Can you calculate? Some of these are totally pointless. You can actually post a screenshot. See? Normal. Oh, boy. Lean to. Why I oughta.
The internet, man.
It's the old standby, right? Like everybody had a calculator. Anyways, so it creates a chat room around every app that you have installed on your device, and that can come in handy. And if you have a question or you want to post a screenshot of saying naughty words in your calculator app, but it does some cool stuff too. So like, let's say I'm in Food Keeper, and I want to go directly to that. You swipe up in the bottom corner, you can kind of see right under there. And I'll go ahead and tap that. And that'll take me right to the Food Keeper chat. There's nothing here in this particular app. But I'm going to go ahead.
It's an undiscovered gem, you guys.
Yes.
Hey, who knew?
Undiscovered gem.
That's what I'm trying to bring to you here. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and post that.
Before it goes huge. Yeah.
So there you go. And, it's tied to my user ID. If there is full kind of like commenting, referencing other users in here. So somebody could post to my ID and I would get a notification that tells me in this chat room that somebody messaged me. If I was in File Chat and I took a screen, now File Chat launched today, so I doubt it has a chat room. Yeah. But if I took a screenshot, which I will do, now up in my notifications, let's see here.
Jeez, notifications. It's just screenshot.
Where is it?
It's the first one. It's the first one.
Right, the first one's right at the top. Yeah.
That's
great.
So it has this, and it will automatically put the screenshot into the File Chat room. And it'll load in a second here. But basically, so you can automatically upload screenshots like that wonderful screenshot from Calculator to the chat room for whatever reason. Say you're troubleshooting something or whatever. Oh, I see. It was the small version of it was
dark,
just the middle
is black. Yeah.
There you go. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting concept, right? Like I've never really thought to do this, but there are plenty of forums that exist for doing things like this. So it's kind of neat that it just kind of analyzes the apps you have on your device. And
I think the weirdest thing that there would be a chat for.
There's a chat for phonograph, by the way.
I mean, if you need tech support or if you see something funny, I mean, it's actually.
Yeah, I mean that's the real use case. I mean, because how often do you have a problem and then you immediately Google it to see if anyone else is having that problem, and you try to find somewhere in the forums where where they're having the similar thing happen. That's pretty cool. So,
yeah, and I mean it's a live chat, so I mean obviously there's not people hanging out in these chat rooms now.
There's that lean-to again. Lean-to is just
all over the
scourge.
All over the place. But, does it always need to be set in permissive mode, or after installation it doesn't need that? Somebody answers that question and just tested it. It has to stay in permissive mode. Otherwise, Viper doesn't work or whatever. So, I don't know. It's a chat room based around your apps. And if you have a particular question around an app and other users might be able to answer it, kind of a cool way to converse. Or you can just say, hey, I like this app. However you want to do it. But kind of a cool thing. I like how it's kind of integrated already with the other apps from the swipe from the bottom corner. And pretty neato. So there you go. It is App Chat Alpha. I wonder if the alpha will disappear from the title at some point. Maybe. But you can check it out. It's free, and it is definitely alpha. It's missing some features. Like, I want to be able to manage my profile in some way, and I don't really have that yet. I want to be able to manage my notifications, let's say, and I don't have that yet. But it's early days yet again for this app as well, and I'm sure that will all come. So there you go. 2 chat apps on today's show.
Yeah.
So there we go. This week's arena is in the can. We've got File Chat, Food Keeper, and App Chat Alpha. You can't get to the poll because I forgot to post it, but I'm doing that right now. If you go to the community, it'll be posted there, and then very soon you'll be able to go to a URL, which I am fashioning for you live and in real time, called aaapoll.com/211, and that will work for you. Not a problem at all when you download. No, wait, sorry, 212. Damn it! I've screwed up. Too much pressure. 212. Shorten. Got it.
There it is.
All right. So aaapoll.com/212. Did it work? Okay. Phew. Geez, something went right for me.
And one more note on File Chat. It's important to note that also all your chats appear on their website. Everything, whether you're on your phone, tablet, website, it's all there. So there it is.
There you
go. Vote.
Go. App Chat.
App Chat.
Alpha, Food Keeper, and File Chat. Check them out.
2 meta chat apps.
I know.
Guys.
Kind of
a
strange
memo.
confluence of events right there.
Yeah.
There we go. So, I don't know. What else is there? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Did we just talk about all of the Android news?
We just talked about
this past
all
week?
about Android.
Yeah,
all about Android.
It's all there in the title.
Gina, always such a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm always want to be on AA whenever I can.
Cool.
It's really fun.
Yay.
Well, I will be in touch, and we'll get you on again soon then in that case.
Excellent. Yes. Let's book it. Absolutely.
So what do you want people to know? So obviously thankup.com, MakerBase.
Yeah, MakerBase. Go check out MakerBase. It's my fun little thing right now. Go check it out. And like I said earlier, if you hear about it here on the show and you get on the wait list and you want to skip the line, just tweet at me and say, hey, I heard about it on AA, get me in, and I will get you in. You check it out.
Excellent.
Cool.
MakerBA.se. Gina, thank you again.
Yes.
And
thank you.
Gina's not going to plug ThinkUp, I will, because I love ThinkUp. And on yesterday, ThinkUp tweeted at me, or I got the ThinkUp insights of that. Well, hang on, before you scroll down. So everyone knows yesterday was May 4th and the stupid co-opted Star Wars Day, which really should be May 25th, but whatever. But I like that ThinkUp was on the ball. I woke up, and what it did was it gave me my past year's worth of tweets related to Star Wars.
Wow.
And if you go and look at them, I complain about Star Wars a lot. I'm a very grumpy Star Wars fan. I go, learning to code purely to make a Twitter app to filter out anything to do with the new Star Wars movie I don't want to know until it's out. And then I said, can you get the new Star Wars extras without buying the new digital release? Like it's just me complaining. It's just like...
You're cranky Star Wars
This
fan.
is a wake-up call that I am a cranky old sci-fi fan. So there you go.
Well, then we ThinkUp has done its duty.
Yep, and this is when Darth Vader was driving the bus on Muni. So.
Oh, nice. I was a little worried about doing May the 4th because I know that it's a somewhat controversial holiday that's not officially sanctioned or whatever, but we went with it, and I
it was a great idea. I mean, I think it's a BS holiday because it should be May 25th because that's when the movie actually came out, but whatever. And really they're making a whole holiday based off of a pun, but whatever. That's how Christmas started, I guess.
No comment.
You're also anti-Pi Day. You're also like March 14th.
No,
nothing.
I'm down with that. It's 3.14. That's cool.
So
that's
the
a cool day.
Reference
That's
is
legit.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's legit. And that would appear in Jason's pie collection.
In Jason's
on Google
pie collection. I expect that his pie collection will blow up on March 14th.
But yeah.
I welcome all types of pie.
Yeah.
Not just the types that you eat.
So that said, if you enjoy my level of grumpy fanitude, you can go to about.me/RonXO, where you can find links to my Twitter and Google Plus and Instagram and all fun stuff like that, where I complain about things a lot, apparently. I don't mean to. I'm a happy person.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm a happy person.
Wow, I don't talk about Star Wars.
You didn't?
Apparently.
Oh, yeah.
I have two. Here's the new Star Wars 10-hour cut. I don't understand. And then awaiting the inevitable, watch the new Star Wars movie cam in 7,200 6-second parts. That must have been around...
when they announced it?
No, that must have been around... what was the video app with 6-second...
Vine?
Yeah, Vine. Posting the movie.
Here's the thing about Star Wars, is that it's the closest thing to religion I have. And so I get very touchy about it. That's all I'm saying.
Feel passionately about it. Oh, that's good.
We understand, Ron. We understand.
How about you, Jason?
We get it.
We feel your pain. Brian, actually.
Brian. Throw it to Brian.
Oh, thanks. I know you tried to skip me, Ron, but
I'm
not
sorry. Well, you
today.
weren't born
Not
when
this
Star
time.
Wars came out, so that's why I had to just...
But I appreciate it. Actually, you can follow me on Twitter at cranky_hippo. But the last weekend was a little stressful. We had a pretty big announcement. The first Screensavers show happened.
You look a little stressed there.
Yeah, it's kind of a monster when it comes to running the TriCaster on that show. But you can find me doing that on Saturdays. I believe we'll start at 3 o'clock. And on Thursdays, I do a know-how show with Padre. And we just do some cool maker projects and stuff. And Jason, are you going to do the MAME machine? You want to do that for know-how?
I would like to do that in some way, shape, or form.
I want to see this now.
Last week on This Week in Google, Aaron Newcomb, longtime guest on this show and
Aaron's
Twig,
great. He's awesome.
brought in his homemade tabletop MAME setup, complete with instructions on how to do it. And I'm clueless when it comes to this stuff, but I want a MAME, like an actual dedicated MAME machine so bad. Love to do that. And I made a random comment on the show, and then someone reached out and like, I can make the parts and send them to you. And we were talking about possibly doing it on the network in some way.
I think we should do it.
Yeah.
I think you should.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
voting.
voting. It'll happen.
Yeah,
I'm voting aye. Gina, are you with me?
Sure.
Say yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all you need to do is just say yes.
Nothing to lose, Gina. Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It sounds like a lot of fun.
It's like improv. Just say yes.
yeah, just go with the flow.
Yes,
Yes,
and.
and.
Yes, and.
Yes, and.
I know you said you didn't have time to do it, but if you do it for work, you can always find time, right?
I know.
mean,
Exactly. Then we'll have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
work.
you can't keep it around here. You'll have to take it home. So.
I'll have to review it and test it and hope that my kids don't spill drinks on it. As for me, you can find me at about.me/Jason Howell. You can follow my music at yellowgoldmusic.com. You can follow my other Android show, the Dark Sheep in this family, at twit.tv/arena. I'm actually doing an episode this week on apps created by fans of both this show and Android App Arena. So I got some great submissions. And actually, I should make sure and say that App Chat came from those submissions. Oh, wow. So that is also from a fan of this show. And yeah, so that's going to be tomorrow. I record those on Wednesday, so they appear Wednesday evening. That's twit.tv/arena. I'm looking forward to that episode. But that is it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, leave us a voicemail, 347-SHOW-AAA. Send us emails at AAA@twit.tv. Find us on Twitter. We're at Android Show. We're on Google+. Just search for the community. You'll find the poll and a bunch of other stuff there. We are on Reddit, twitaaa.reddit.com. Show notes and past episodes can always be found at our one place on the internet, the most important one, twit.tv/AAA, and also our episodes on YouTube and iTunes all over the map. And you can catch us live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, live.twit.tv. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week on another episode of All About Android. Bye, everyone.